Today on Larry King Now, Castle's Nathan Fillion on the future of Castle. How long do you think it's going to go on?
An excellent question that I haven't had to boil down a decision just yet, but that time is coming.
On working with Joss Whedon.
My rule is when Joss Whedon calls you and says, hey, we have this thing we're thinking about doing, just say yes.
Plus.
Is that
a hairpiece?
No, sir. But it does look like one, right?
How do you do that?
You wiggle it back and forth, doing one of those, right? Pull it back, push it forward. There we go. All straight.
You're putting me on.
Yes, sir.
It's all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our special guest is Nathan Fillion. You've seen him on your TV and movie screens in such projects as Firefly, Desperate Housewives, Monsters University, Waitress, and in Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing. He's currently in his 7th season, playing the title character Richard Castle on ABC's successful Castle that airs Monday nights at 10 p.m. Before we do anything else, I hear that you do a great impression of me. You've done it on Kevin Pollak's show. Kevin and I are old friends.
No excuses here, but a disclaimer, that was my first ever Larry King impression.
Try it again.
Let me see what I can do for you. The White House, home to the nation's most powerful men. When I stayed in the Lincoln bedroom, it was the bedroom.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, why has Castle hit such a chord with so many people? Do you think?
Excellent question. If I knew the answer to that, I'd be probably a high-paid television executive. We've mulled it over a lot. I think there's a number of reasons. One is we don't take ourselves terribly seriously. But I think the most important thing is timing. I think it's one of the only breaths of fresh air in a realm of cop dramas that are very intense and very graphic.
Breath of fresh air, how?
Well, in that it's far lighter fare. It's far lighter fare. We do take the opportunity to be, we're very self-deprecating on the show. We enjoy being self-deprecating.
Is there a lot of you in Castle?
Absolutely. My brother is fond of saying, is it fair to be paid to work if you're really just being yourself?
The concept of you and Kate Beckett, are you getting married now?
We are now married. Oh, I had a ring on earlier. We're now married. We are now married on the show. That thing about will they or won't they, the curse, if they get together, will it continue? I think we've pulled through. It's
Should fans be scared that this means it's coming to an end?
That was always my fear, and yet I'm still employed, and we're still going to work, and we're still doing well.
How'd you get the script? How did it come to you?
I had a stack of scripts. ABC sent me a stack of scripts saying, take a look at these shows. Castle, for no reason, was at the very bottom of the pile. I remember saying to my friend at the time, I was just reading it. I said to my friend, I said, I think it was on page 15 or 16 of this script, and I said, I'm going to read this to you, and you tell me if you don't think this would be a lot of fun to do. And then I had a meeting with the producers where I told them flat out, stop looking. I'm the guy. I'm who you're looking for. This is me. I can do this.
Did you think it would be a hit?
Good question. If you were to look at my IMDb page, you'd see a long list of failures. I can only cross my fingers and get involved in projects that appeal to me, and then just hope for the best. So
7 years of doing it over and over, does it ever get stale?
It can. It is a bit of a machine. We have to produce something. It has to come out fast. By comparison, though, my very first job was a soap opera. We were doing a 44-minute program every day. That is a machine. So we do slow down a bit.
You're shooting 8 days?
We do an 8-day shoot, yes, we do.
Your contract's up at the end of the year. How long do you think it's going to go on?
An excellent question that I haven't had to boil down a decision just yet, but that time is coming.
Is it up to you or them? I mean, if they continue, will you continue?
An excellent question. There's a lot more to it, I'm finding. This is the first time I've ever been in this position. It's
Nice position.
Yeah, a very nice position, and fun and flattering and wonderful. I'm just glad that people are watching.
Your co-star, Stana Katic, is it?
Yes.
Said, I don't think that a show should overstay its welcome. If the character is complete, if there is nowhere else to go creatively, I think it's better to stop when you're on top. Agree?
I've always liked that idea. I think the English do that best, where they'll say, here's 2 seasons of a show, they're fantastic, that's all you get. Their shows don't really have a chance to dwindle and die. I would hate to do that. I would hate for that to happen.
In some interviews, you've mentioned your mom, who has said that you're a geek and your advantage is you look mainstream.
Yes.
Is that true?
I would say that is true, yes.
How are you a geek?
I'm still a fan of comic books. I have all my life. I learned to read by gleaning meaning from comic books, Archie comic books, Richie Rich, I remember. Later on into the Marvel and the DC, the superhero stuff. That's where I got my sense of justice. When you come to my house, in the umbrella stand are a couple of lightsabers. I enjoy the toys. I'm a fan of the stuff.
Married?
If it's sci-fi, I'm unmarried, so thank God no one has to.
So you've not grown up yet?
I haven't had the chance.
Did you like Jughead?
He was a fave. He was a favorite of mine. I was also a fan of burgers.
Are you part of the geek revolution?
Is there a revolution?
The geeks and nerds are now in.
It's become mainstream. No one has to be ashamed of their geekdom now. You see these wonderful things. I blame the internet.
Why?
Because now these people aren't alone in their fandoms. Now they can get online and connect with other people. You can like something very, very, very specific and go out there and find thousands of people who are into the very same.
And there we learned there are many, many, many geeks, right?
There are.
Nathan discusses Firefly's brown coat followers and his relationship with Joss Whedon next. You're watching Larry King Now. Our special guest is Nathan Fillion. I heard that you love the TV show The Walking Dead.
I sure do.
Would you want to be on that show?
The only problem with being on the show is pulling back that curtain and seeing the inner workings of it. I really enjoy the illusion, being able to enjoy the characters. And
you don't want to know too much.
I don't want to know too much, and I don't want to see the inner workings. I like the veil. Keep the veil, keep the magic, keep transporting me.
I've had lots of guests on from that show. I have never seen it. Tell me why I would like it.
I'm a big fan of the what would happen if. So this is post-apocalyptic kind of, there's zombies out there. It's very interesting to me how those extreme circumstances affect different people in very different ways. And it's very, very intense, and things are kind of boiled down to life or death, so the stakes are always quite high.
Maybe you do a guest shot.
Maybe
we'll get you one off this show.
Well, let's hope.
You've been working with Joss for over 10 years, starting with Firefly. What's so great about him?
What's so great about Joss Whedon?
Like, what's your working relationship?
You know what's great is, and I always say this about Joss, he's an incredibly intelligent man who doesn't make you feel stupid when you're around him. And that's something I appreciate a lot, because I'm not the brightest guy. He obviously knows what he's doing. I'll come up with an idea. Hey, what if I did this or this? Would this be great? He's the guy who says, that's a great idea. Or we could do, and then gives you a brilliant idea.
What do you think of the Avengers?
Very happy.
That's the sequel, right?
Very happy. The Avengers 2 about to come out. I'm very excited about that.
Are we going to see you in Avengers films?
I will not be in Avengers 2, that's for sure.
You're the voice of the Green Lantern, right? In
Yeah,
Justice
I do
League.
voice for some animated shows. I do, yeah.
And that's a continuation of comic book life for you, right?
It is. It's nice that these things that I was a fan of since I was a kid, now I get to have a little piece of them. I get to participate.
You like doing voiceovers?
It's easy work.
The easiest.
It's easy.
Firefly was canceled, right, after 11 episodes?
It was, very short-lived.
Back 12 years ago.
Yes, indeed.
Why does it stay around?
Excellent question. I feel it's because, it was a very good show. It was really well done. It had wonderful people with that show from top to bottom. The crew was amazing. The writers fantastic, and that cast. I'm still friends with all of them. I enjoy them all immensely.
Is it considered a failure?
Good question. I don't know if that's because it's considered canceled. That's for sure. But the thing is, fans from Firefly never go away.
Why did it get canceled?
We were a Friday night, 8 o'clock time slot. It's a very tough time slot. We were preempted a lot for sports. Timing. Again, timing. It wasn't because the show was bad. And new fans keep coming all the time. So
why are they called brown coats?
Brown coats refers to the soldiers that fought in the revolution in the show. They fought a losing war, so the brown coats.
Do you think if they brought it back, it would be a hit?
If they brought it back now, with all of us 10 years older, 12 years older. I'll tell you this. Back then, I was very willing to do my own stunts. Not so much anymore, that's for sure.
Video game was announced this summer. You going to be part of it?
Which game is announced?
The Firefly.
Oh, yes. I'm definitely going to be a part of that. Absolutely. I've been doing some recordings just recently, actually.
You were on the last season of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes, I was.
What were you on that?
I was Caleb. I was an evil priest with supernatural powers.
What kind of set does Joss run?
Fun. People are there because they want to be there. He picks the best people. The people he wants to be around is the people he picks. If you're on a Joss Whedon program, it's because you're talented and good in some way.
Where are you from, Nathan?
I'm Canadian. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta.
Edmonton, the Oilers.
Yeah.
Did you always want to act?
I didn't discover acting until I was about 18. And until that time, there was nothing that really held my interest that I was...
You were out of high school?
I was, yes, out of high school into college, and I started acting with some success. There's a wonderful theater community in Edmonton, that very supportive, incredible community. Both the
if you
actors
hadn't thought about it, what drew you to it?
What drew me to it?
What did you think you wanted to be?
I come from a family of teachers. I thought teaching would be my thing, and I was 3 months away from a degree when I finally got that job in New York. But the risk, the adrenaline rush, being up on stage, something could go wrong at any point in time. Jumping out of a plane, too much adrenaline for Nathan. Being on stage, just enough.
Did you start in theater?
I started in theater, yeah.
Prefer it?
A lot of rehearsal, very little actual show time, and you can only entertain a theater worth of people at a time. For me, I like entertaining masses.
But with theater, once the curtain opens, it's not the director's art anymore.
Right.
It's yours.
Yeah.
To get audience reaction, you begin at the beginning and end at the end. It opens at 8 and closes at 9:45 or whenever, right?
True enough.
So you don't have cut, do that again.
Yeah. Less control on that side, more control on your side, absolutely.
So I would imagine if I were an actor, I would prefer that.
It's a lot of responsibility, too. It's a lot of responsibility. That could shake me sometimes.
When you're playing someone like Castle all the time, does it ever become another day, another job?
I try to avoid that. You know what's great is because our show is popular, when we have guest stars on the show, typically they or someone they know are fans of the show. We have visitors come to set, charity winners, Make-A-Wish kids come to the show all the time. It's very nice to see it through fresh eyes. So that always re-energizes and invigorates the crew again and the cast as well.
Shooting in 7 days, Peter Falk used to say, doing a television series isn't getting it great, it's getting it done.
That can be said. That can be said. You are on a schedule. There is a product that you have to make. It is a machine. You have to respect that machine.
We'll chat about Nathan's childhood, a little internet mini-series you may have heard of called Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog. That's when we get back. We're back with Nathan Fillion, the star of Castle. He is Castle, in fact. Continuing your relationship with Joss, you did something at the... Was Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog revolutionary?
For me, it certainly was. That was the writer's strike here in L.A. You remember that really hit the city really hard, and people were deciding to produce their own projects, and that was how Dr. Horrible, the idea of it, was born. The writer's strike ended, but we already had the wheels in motion and still wanted to do it. So.
What did you think when he talked to you about an internet series?
He's got a lot of crazy ideas. My rule is when Joss Whedon calls you and says, hey, we had this thing we're thinking about doing, just say yes. Just
Really?
say yes. It's going to be great, so just
Were
say
you
yes.
Dr. Horrible?
I was Dr. Horrible's arch nemesis, Captain Hammer.
Anything talk about a sequel?
We talk about it all the time. Neil Patrick Harris played Dr. Horrible, is a busy guy. I'm pretty tied up at the moment, but all of us are enthusiastic to do a sequel.
You debuted in 2008 on the internet.
Yes.
Did you foresee that 6 years later there would be a show like Larry King on the internet?
I think this is the direction things are going. This thing where people say, you know what I want to watch is this, and they press a button and they're watching it. That's, I think, the future of entertainment. And we're seeing that now. The TVs that come out are smart TVs. You can access Netflix or Hulu and watch what you care to watch. You can really design your programming.
It's the audience's game.
It sure is.
Yeah. Is there all that good about it?
What do you think?
I started all-night radio. I started national talk radio on the network and worldwide satellite TV, and I just do what I do.
And
I'm
here
doing
you
the
are.
same thing. I'm just being transmitted
Fair enough.
differently. You grew up in Edmonton. What was childhood like in Canada?
Cold. Our winters are long, and it would snow before Halloween. So your Halloween costume when you were a kid was whatever they could see under your parka, you know, and your boots. Like, look at the pant legs. That's my costume. And then it would snow before my birthday, March 27th. It was a very long winter.
I spoke in Edmonton.
When?
There with Barbara Bush. We spoke together in a big event. I liked it a lot.
What time of year were you there?
Fall.
Thank God. Thank God it wasn't winter.
And the light nights are long, right?
Very, very long.
How big is Canadian television?
There is a Canadian content law. There's a certain percentage of our entertainment that must be Canadian. It's kind of enforced in
I like
that
that.
way. It's I think good in a lot of ways. There's some people who are against it, but that's what I grew up with. That's what I know.
How did you get on One Life to Live?
A audition tape I made for a Canadian film in Vancouver. I sent to Vancouver. It went from Vancouver to Los Angeles to New York in the course of a year. So it was a year old by the time I got to New York. They called me, asked me if I was still acting and if I'd be interested in an audition. And 2 weeks later, I was living in New York City.
Who did you play on One Life to Live?
I was the best Joey Buchanan ever. There was a lot of us. There was a bunch.
What was Joey Buchanan?
He was the youngest son of the Buchanan clan. My mother was the matriarch of the show, Vicky Buchanan, played by Erica Slezak. And I had a torrid affair with her arch nemesis.
Was doing a soap opera, you were Emmy nominated about it, doing a soap opera, were you acting, did you feel like it was real, or did you feel like it was a throwaway or was serious? How do you approach it?
It is very serious business, but again, it is a machine. They are producing. Anybody who speaks poorly or talks down about daytime drama, I consider that person to have never seen it or tried it themselves. It is incredibly difficult to do, and because of the machine it is, because of the sheer number of episodes, an episode every day. That is incredibly hard work to do. And not everyone can be gold, I confess that. But there's a lot of incredibly powerful work being done on daytime dramas every day. More so back in the day when we had more daytime dramas.
A lot of the scripts pretty good?
You know what, I always thought it was very much a team effort. The actor being the last line of defense before something hits the air. Just trying to make, everybody was trying to pull along and make it work. Nobody stopped the machine and said, I'm not going to do this. It was all about making it work. It was a wonderful place to start.
Did you leave it for something else?
The fellow who played my uncle, Bob Woods, sat me down and said, when your contract is over, I'm telling you, you have to leave, go to Los Angeles, try your hand out there. If it doesn't work, come back and we'll accept you with open arms, but you have to try.
One Life to Live is in New York.
Yeah.
What was your breakout here?
I did a number of things out here when I first moved out. The most, I think the one that everyone would have seen would be Saving Private Ryan. I had a small role in Saving Private Ryan.
Well, were you a soldier?
I was the wrong Ryan. When they tell the kid his brothers are dead and he cries and he turns out to be the wrong guy. That was a 25-year-old me with Ted Danson on one side and Tom Hanks on the other. And I couldn't have asked for a more wonderful experience.
You've been pretty lucky. I'm talented, but lucky. There's a lot of luck involved.
I'm the luckiest guy I've ever met.
Life's pretty good, huh, Nathan?
Life is really good for me. Thank you very much, Larry.
Do you pinch yourself, Nathan?
Constantly. Constantly.
What do you look ahead to do? What do you want to do? You've done so much.
For me, the next thing, I've spent 7 years playing the same characters. If there was something else on the horizon, I would like to dabble in other characters.
How about a major film?
I would like to do something like that. Why, do you have something in mind?
I'm thinking about
produce together?
Nathan will answer your social media questions right after this. Nathan Fillion's our guest. We have some social media questions. At Rebecca Hunsberg tweets, do you have a favorite moment from season 7 so far?
Do I have a favorite moment from season 7 so far? Boy, you know what? They all blend together. People ask me, what's your favorite? And I once the episode is done, I kind of delete it from the memory banks to get the next one done. Yes, Paul Ben Victor, a wonderful actor and a friend of mine from a long time back, came to our show to play a friend from Castle's distant past. So here I have a friend from my distant past coming to play a friend from my distant past. So that was a favorite of mine.
A life lesson.
Right.
Yes. Cheryl Aldrich on Facebook. Did you nail the Time of Our Lives episode, Wedding Vows, on the first take?
Yes. Always. Always nailed it first take.
At Ordibs Kadik, if you weren't acting, what do you think you'd be doing?
Jewel thief.
Jewel thief.
Yeah, I like that.
Would you have been a good
romantic.
jewel thief? You'd have been good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I could tell you look like you'd be a good jewel. Because you know why? You have the kind of face that would be just accepted. The jewelry store would let you in.
I'm so trusting.
The woman would let you in. Yeah. The woman would let you in for more reasons than one. At Nat1849, I'm curious about what you and Alan Tudyk, is that the way it's pronounced, are cooking up regarding con men.
Alan Tudyk has been writing a web series about a guy, a couple of guys that came off of a failed sci-fi series, which is where Alan and I know each other from, is the Firefly series. And one guy launches into success, and his character is now doing these sci-fi conventions to make a living.
And it's con men?
Con man.
Lexi Newman, what's your favorite gadget that you have in your house?
Right now, my favorite gadget is my thermostat. I have one of those Nest thermostats. It learns your patterns, and it heats the house when you're there, and it cools it. It lets it,
You like that?
Oh yeah, it saves you energy.
Lights go on when you walk into the room?
That kind of thing. Yeah, it's all automated from your phone. You can do that.
I'm a throwback man.
Yeah.
I like switches.
Do you go up and change the channels like manually?
I
on the
wish I
TV?
could.
That was my job when I was a kid.
Now a game of If You Only Knew. We just
All right.
throw questions at you. First girl you kissed?
I was like my next door neighbor Donna, and I was in second grade, I think, first grade.
Whatever happened to Donna?
I talked to her like 2 years ago. She's, I think, in Toronto now or somewhere in Canada.
Superpower you'd like to have?
The ability to find anything.
TV show you'd love to guest star in?
Larry King now.
Time period you'd like to go back and visit?
Medieval times.
Most amount of dialogue you've had to memorize at once?
Shakespeare.
Would you rather hit a home run or score the game-winning goal in a hockey game?
A home run, because I don't like the ice. I don't like the cold.
What would Captain Hammer be today? Where would Captain Hammer be today?
Running for politics.
Who would win in the fight, Malcolm Reynolds or Captain Hammer?
Malcolm Reynolds, because he shoots first.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh my God, why do we have to choose? Why choose?
You don't have to. Hey, this ain't a courtroom.
Thank God.
A film you wish you could have been in?
Oh, that's a Aliens.
A role you'd love to play?
I would love to be the monster in a monster movie.
Best prank pulled on the set of Castle?
What have I done on the set of Castle?
Do you do it, or does someone else? Is there a prankster?
There are pranks being played on in Castle all the time. Oh, there was a fella at work had a skin tag, this little skin tag hanging off his arm there, and I said I could get it off. I took a little cauterizer and I sliced it off him. Next day he comes to work and it's all infected. It looked like he was traveling down some veins. It looked really, really bad. It turns out he went to the makeup trailer and had them doll it all up with some terrible makeup.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Funniest co-star you've worked with?
Funniest Tom Bergeron.
Yeah, he is funny.
Very. He won't shut up, that guy.
Most likely to break up during a scene?
Most likely John Huertas.
Hidden talent?
My hidden talent? My hairpiece.
Is that a hairpiece?
No, sir. But it does look like one, right?
How do you do that?
Right? It's got a floating scalp. It's the whole Fillion side of my family have that. They just wiggle it around like that.
Are you kidding me now? Are you putting me on, or do you have a hairpiece?
This is all me. It's all.
Do it again.
You wiggle it back and forth. One of those, right? Pull it back, push it forward. There we go. All straight.
You're putting me on.
That's true. You want to give it a tug? Yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Now, there is a talent.
Thank you. And hidden.
You could make money with it. In fact, you could do commercials for a wig maker.
Ooh. Or shampoo.
Watch how mine works. It's all phony anyway, right? All right. One more thing. How old are you?
I'm 43.
You're 53.
43.
I'm saying you're 53.
Okay, now I'm 53.
What do you want to be doing?
I want to wake up in the morning, jog a couple laps around the island I own, and then jump on the boat to go get supplies because all my friends are coming to visit for a week.
Why are you still single?
And my wife will come with me.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank my guest, Nathan Fillion. Be sure to watch Castle Monday nights at 10 p.m. on ABC, and you can see Nathan answer even more of your social media questions on our blog at kingsthings.aura.tv. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at kingsthings, and I'll see you next time.